Hey, Mrs. Fluffer, what the heck are you doing up this early? Did you already get a good night's sleep, or are you up in the middle of the night? There was just a comment posted on the channel. I'll see if I can find it here. And it suggested using the word ruse, R-U-S-E. Let's see here. How do I find it? Here it is. Let's see. Oh, it didn't pop up. Hold on. I thought it was right here. Extinct. I think, let me see if I got it right. XTINCTUBE. Suggested, you know how we don't say anybody's name here, right? That instead of spelling it one way, we should spell it R-U-S-E. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's perfect. Hey, Star Mama, you're awake too? What are we doing awake this early, you guys? I think we're all Eastern Standard Time, aren't we? We'll have the early morning chit chat. The three of us. Well, I'm glad that Mrs. Fluffer is sharing with us her bodily functions. Our bodies are probably saying, sugar, I need sugar. Because I just got a coffee. And I'm looking at the time going, okay, this is kind of stupid, but whatever. I got a good night's sleep. So I got some emails about that channel, the one that's saying hashtag truth and hashtag honesty. Woo, doggy. I only listened to a few minutes and I'm like, really? So I think, just my opinion, yeah, Mrs. Fluffer, gotta grab a cup. Grab a cup. Here, we'll share mine. It's got the little bit of chocolate in it. Just a little bit. But I took a look at a few little parts of that last video they just put up, or I should say she just put up. And this is what I think. I'm glad you're right here, Paula, because I was going to sit down and do an email, and I thought, I'm going live. I'll talk to myself if I have to. So just the parts I heard, it's like, whoa, isn't that interesting how much time is being spent dragging and dragging and dragging, going on and on. And she said, and I heard this part myself, she said, I'm trying to think how she said it now, but that was one of the parts I landed on. She said that I wouldn't allow her to post. Hey, Susie. She said I wouldn't allow her to post on the comment thread, so she had to do a live chat. That is a total lie. It's an absolute lie. And this is what I think. I think that that person is no different from the rest. And I think that she was absolutely using you, Paula, and using Gypsy. Absolutely 100%, no doubt in my mind, because that channel is nothing but a hate channel. It's all it is. It's a hate channel. And we've seen it before with other channels where they let the comment threads have nothing but hate in them. They can say whatever they want to say, full of hate, and then they sit up there and do the holier than thou routine, you know? Oh, yeah, we want to have truth. We want to have honesty. Yeah, uh-huh. Well, she sits there lying and lying and lying. Disgusting. How's that go? Disgusting POS. I don't get what you're saying, Susie. Mrs. in and about the other channel. So yeah, this is just ridiculous. Susie, I got to the part, I don't know what the timestamp was, but it was further on. I mean, she's going on and on with so much BS, but I got to the part where she's saying that I wouldn't let her comment. What a liar, a total liar. And if you take a look at some of those live chats or videos or whatever that she's put up so far, take a closer look. Hate, 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 hate. And you know what? It's really too bad, because what that tells me is that Guacamole probably is even connected to her. Probably. And I'm sorry to say that, Paula, but I think you and Gypsy both got took. I do. A lot of people like you, Paula. A lot of people like Gypsy. I think that you both got took. I think she would do herself a favor to remove her last little live chat too. Because you know what? It's getting a little bit tiring dealing with that kind of crap. And we're actually getting a little better at dealing with it too. Seriously, Mrs. Fluffer says I can't with liars. Exactly. If you're going to lie, you're a piece of shit. That's all there is to it. If you're a liar, you're a piece of shit. There. The world's problems solved. Oh, really? Paula says someone tried to hack into Gypsy's account, so she shut it down. I wonder if that or any other channel had anything to do with it. Gee, I think the timing's pretty glaring. And if that's going on, right? If that's happening right at this particular time, maybe that's why she was on live, right? She's connected to the scumbags, Paula. I hate to tell you that, but I think you and Gypsy were being used. Susie says, I don't do lies either, or hypocrisy. Exactly. And I think also that the whole idea that they even hashtag truth and hashtag honesty while they're sitting there lying, it's like pretty priceless, really. So have you guys seen the comments on the channel, on this channel, from XTINCTUBE? They post some pretty interesting comments pretty regularly. Tonight they posted a listen to me, last night, they posted a comment suggesting that we use this spelling. I'll type it, and I'll type it in caps. And I think we should. And I think we should for a lot of different reasons. Paula says, I agree, we were used. It is making more sense after she went live for 4 hours bashing me and you. Exactly. Exactly, Paula. If she was ever your friend, that wouldn't have happened. And the shit she said to me, like, oh, I really think it's interesting to talk to Miss Mensa. You know, we don't have to talk about the case of Christopher Watts. She's really smart about a lot of other cases, right? And then kaboom. Yeah, I don't think that's how a friend would react, Paula, to you at all, because you guys have been quote unquote friends for a long time. Maybe not a long time, but I mean, you've been working on getting the channel up and everything. But you know, I think pretty much most people could see, even though she kept trying to say we and our channel and stuff like that, she would always have to be correcting herself because she was always saying it was her channel. I agree with Mrs. Fluffer. Mrs. Fluffer says, Paula, tell them to kiss your ass. Susie, you're right. Susie says, nope, if Paula was her friend, she wouldn't have bashed her. This has all been in the works. Exactly. Exactly right. I agree completely. Which is why she was so friendly to me at first, remember? Oh, she enjoyed talking about the Diane Downs case, and she enjoyed talking about the other cases, and she was going to stand up for Miss Mensa, right? Yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. Exactly. No rights to the channel at all. And she kept saying things like it was her channel, and then she'd go, I mean, our, yeah, right. I wonder who she's taking her directions from. Gee, I wonder. So we'll add her to the list of the scumbag attackers and say, off with you, little one, off with you. We'll call her the little insignificant twit. Good morning, Miss Mensa and everyone. I saw you were on, saw Star Mama in chat and wanted to say hi and show support for you ladies. Aw, that's sweet of you. I hope that's okay. Hi, chat and lurkers. Yeah, we always want to acknowledge our lurkers in the background. Susie said, well, I actually said to Mensa I thought it was your channel till I went over and seen it was a few women. She ran the show. Paula says the graphics are awesome thanks to Gypsy. Well, let's just do a big shame on her, not Gypsy, for the good graphics. I mean, a shame on what's her face. We'll have to come up with a name with her now. Let's see. Should we call her what's her face? Or maybe the twit? I'm not sure. It's a toss up. But I do like this new word for the channel. I'll put it up there again. And that is all credit going to XTINCTUBE, who suggested we use the spelling R-U-S-E. There it is again. I put it up on the thingy. Right. She says all people are welcome. Yeah, baloney. Let me tell you. Baloney. And like Paula said before, Paula couldn't see the chat. I don't think Paula and Gypsy were able to see the chat. I think it was all the twit. All people are welcome to line right up in their chat to take abuse from all the idiots. What, the insider? The insider says, is it true a detective told you to stay away from a person? I do not see it, so more to come. What are you talking about? No detective has told me to stay away from anybody. Yes, Mrs. Fluffer, new code word. Go ahead and explain, the insider. Star Mama says, yep, Gypsy is gone. She got burned at the stake, so they say. She was accused of being a something witch. Susie says, yep, I noticed in the chat the other night, someone said about where all the mods are from, and the comment was deleted. Exactly. Exactly. You take a little bit of a closer look and you see everything you need to see. It is crazy, Paula. It is. Yeah, accusing people of being a witch, that's their first round. I remember they took my graduation photo from law school and they said that that was me at a witches convention. That's one of the first stupid things they do, is they accuse people of being a witch. Paula says her eyes are wide open. Yeah, hindsight's 20/20, huh? So it looks like that insider thing was just posting smack, because I asked them to elaborate, but they're not saying anything. Come on, the insider, go ahead and elaborate. How's that go? Spill the tea. Come on, the insider, spill the tea. Yes, Susie. And Susie, I have to say, you do call it. You do call it. You have a knack for calling it. Okay, the insider, I'm going to count to 3. Tell us more. Mrs. Fluffer, you don't swear, do you? Mrs. Fluffer said, I thought that live was utterly psycho. OMG. I said WTF out loud. I bet the insider probably switched profiles. And they're going to come on and say some other smack with a different profile now. Because otherwise, don't you think they would have responded to my repeated requests for more information? Or maybe they're texting with other attackers so that they can figure out what to say and how to spell it. Well, and I'd say on the bright side, right? On the bright side, they haven't been up very long before the truth came out. I think we'll just listen to Susie from now on, because she nailed it day one. She's like, watch out, Mensa. I did think that her interest in the whole Diane Downs case was kind of, I don't know, it sounded a little bit fake, but I don't know. So back to the name, Ruse. I really like that name for the entire case, because when you think about it, okay, the life that they were living was nothing but a ruse. All of these quote unquote true crime channels are nothing but a ruse, right? I mean, that one word just sums up the whole friggin' case. Susie says it's clear, too, who it is who is pulling the strings. And I agree with you, Susie. And you know what? I think the whole guacamole routine, personally, is because I think certain people are trying to distance themselves from her. And I guess they think they can be effective with doing that on YouTube. Star Mama says, telling her to kiss my ass is mild, believe me, to what I'm thinking. Hey, Lisa. Oh, Lisa, you're going to have to delete that comment. And you know it. And this is like the 10th time. Do you know how to delete? Because when I click on it, all I get is either, let me see here. Oops. that comment. I was trying to get the thing. All I get is block user or put user in timeout. And I don't want to block you or put you in a timeout. So can you delete it from your end? Okay, how come I can see it? Oh, I think we had that before, didn't we? Where I can still see it, but it's not there. Okay, good. Yeah, it's still sitting there on my screen. Okay, good. So that one word says it all. And again, credit goes to XTINCTUBE, who posted it on the channel tonight. I think it's the perfect word for this case. It's the perfect word. And I'm not talking like the Megan kind of ruse, right? How Megan thinks it didn't happen and all. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about every step of the way. Oh, she was such a good mom. She did more than 95% of the other women out there. She was a retired nurse. She went to nursing school. She had, and what she had fertility issues. She had fibromyalgia. She had lupus. The girls had familial Mediterranean fever. They were just like the perfect couple, you know? They were just the perfect couple living the typical suburban lifestyle. If you call not making your house payment for 3 months straight and filing bankruptcy and walking away from 70 grand after being married for just a couple of years, for Pete's sake, with no major expenses in between, if you call that typical suburban lifestyle, I don't think so. And you know what? Typically, couples who live in the burbs, they own 2 cars, as in own, O-W-N, own 2 cars. And many people own 3 or 4. They didn't own 1. Susie, yes, that is what XTINCTUBE suggested in the comment threads, instead of a different spelling of ROOS. And then when I got to thinking, I thought that's actually the perfect word for the entire case. Oh, I know it, Lisa. Lisa says, if I have to hear they were a beautiful young couple, oh my gosh. Or when they say, well, they were just starting out. It's like, what? They were in their 30s. And here's something I thought of. I think I put it on one of my Patreon videos. If I didn't, I think I was thinking about it when I was doing the video. Yeah, I probably put it on there. What on earth was their problem? They had 2 parents right there in the home. You know, there are many single parents who can handle keeping their kids healthy. They had 2 parents right there, and they couldn't handle keeping their kids healthy. They only had 2 kids. It's not like they had 2 parents and 10 kids. It's not like they had 1 parent and 6 kids, right? They had 2 parents. And their number 1 job, I would think, would be to make sure their kids were healthy. And they couldn't do it. Were they that dumb? Were they that careless? Well, you know my opinion. I think there was Munchausen by proxy going on, big time. All right, Paula's stress-free. Man, that was fast, girl. That was fast. That's what I love about this channel. We can solve the world's problems in nanoseconds. Generational abuse. That's kind of random. Mrs. Fluffer says, oops, there it is. And why was SW saying, oh, I hope I don't get two babies in my belly? Yeah, right. She's probably telling everyone that twins run in the family or something, right? Didn't she have like cousins or someone? I don't know. I think there were supposedly twins. I mean, let's face it. If there was a support group on Facebook for twins, right? She was probably trying to sell them some caffeine-coated Band-Aids. I'm just saying. Susie said, yep, a cousin had twins. So if a cousin had twins, then you just know it, right? And that way, too, wouldn't that help with the whole high-risk pregnancy bullshit? Oh, Chris, I need you to rub my feet. It's so difficult to have twins, and you know I'm high risk. I'm high risk. What if there's triplets? Oh, my goodness. I'm high risk. I have fibro. I have lupus. I have fertility issues. It's a miracle I'm pregnant. It's a double miracle if I have twins. Let's get 2 or 3 ultrasounds. What do you mean, see the doctor? I don't have time. I'm busy working. Good question, Susie. I don't know. I think she didn't speak to them for some time. I don't know. There were some interesting posts on social media about that whole situation. Uh-oh, Mrs. Fluffer is dying. Quick, does anyone here know CPR? You know dang well that's how it went. You know it. She probably had, well, I won't say that. That's kind of over the top, even for me. But you just know. Can you imagine her monthly cycle? Yeah, Nurse Nene, all right. I bet you her monthly cycle was like a national event or something. Oh, Chris, you know I'm ovulating. You know I get these pains when I ovulate. 2 weeks later, oh, Chris, I think I might be miscarrying. I'm hemorrhaging. I have blood clots. I have to elevate my feet. Exactly, Lisa. Exactly. She probably wrote her own notes for PE. I betcha. Uh-oh. I'm hearing something outside. It sounds like there's a little wildlife fight going on. Hold on a minute. Okay, where's my dog? I have to make sure my dog's in here. Hold on. Oh, yep, he is. He's listening too. He's at a different wall. What is it? Can you hear it? What is it? Boy, something's fighting out there. I'm not that familiar with how different animals sound when they're fighting, but oh my gosh. I wonder if maybe they're raccoons or something. Sarah Murphy says, now you're just being mean. Y-O-U-R. Oh my goodness. That sounds weird, Susie. Oh, good, Mrs. Fluffer. I'm glad to know your dog is not outside getting beat up by a raccoon. Because I have a feeling that's what that noise was. I don't know. the neighbor's trail cam picked up a, what's it called, a bobcat, I think is what he said. Oh, honey, Lisa, we don't have just like cats in heat. We have raccoons, bobcats, bear, deer, stuff like that. Exactly, Lisa. Do what in your pants, Susie? We don't want to know, Lisa. Mrs. Fluffer. Oh, hell no. It would get shot. Well, I was just glad when I saw my dog at the other window, at the other door. Yes, we do, Susie. Yes, we do. And they're big. I came within about 4 to 5 feet of one. And it was huge. A few years ago, we had a mama bear have her twin cubs right pretty close to the house. So I didn't walk for a couple of months. And the cubs would be right out in the driveway playing. Ray says we have kangaroos. Oh my goodness. Mrs. Fluffer says, so do we, and I have woods, all woods behind me. And koalas, Lisa said. Well, your wild animals are cuter than ours, I think. But when I saw the bear, I had to actually walk toward it to get in my car because the alternative would have been to try not to run fast to the door. And I have a feeling turning my back on the bear wouldn't have been a good idea. And running backwards probably wouldn't have been a good idea either, or not running backwards. So I had to go a couple of steps forward to get into the car. And I'll tell you, you know how they say that something's so frightening that it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up? I never knew I had hair on the back of my neck. But my body knew that that bear was trouble. But the cool thing is, when I walked toward the bear did just a total leap. I did not know that bears leap. And I could feel the ground when the bear landed. The bear went the entire width of the driveway in one leap. Boom. It was super early in the morning, and I called my mom, who lived in Fountain Hills, Arizona. And it would have been either 2 hours or 3 hours earlier, depending on the daylight savings time. So she was sound asleep, of course, when I called. And I said, Mom, I just saw a bear. And in her sleepy voice, she said, are you sure it wasn't a horse? Oh my goodness, Mrs. Fluffer said I had a bear walk up to my window once. Probably dinner time. I don't know if you have that happening, but I know different animals will come toward the house when I've got something going in the oven. So my mother said, are you sure it wasn't a horse? And I'm like, ugh, mothers. It was a bear. Totally freaked me out. No way. That's the problem that we had here too. That's the problem we had here. The next door neighbor had, what do you call it? I don't know, like a feeding station or something you'd call it, for birds. He had like a little sanctuary for birds, and he kept those. It was like a big circle, and it was beautiful. It was just beautiful, and they had a really nice, well, it isn't a porch at all. It's part of their house, but they have a really nice part of their house that's all extended with all glass. And so they were able to kind of be like right in the middle of the sanctuary, right? And every time the bears come flying through, they had to stop by the neighbor's house to ruin their bird sanctuary. And it was always fun. He would call me and he would say, hey, get down here. And I'd run down there and try to get pictures of the bear. Someone said, are you sure it wasn't a cow? Yeah, pretty sure. You guys know I totally love my dog, right? I would just hate it if anything ever happened to him. But I got to tell you, when I go outside when it's dark, I like to send him out first because I know he'll tell me if there's anything icky out there. And I feel bad about that because I'm kind of sort of using him, right? But I figure he can probably run a lot faster than I can. It was cute though. That was quite a few years ago. And for quite a few years after that, anytime I'd say something, I don't know, my mom and I joked about that a lot. We'd make kind of snarky little jokes about, well, maybe it was a horse. That's a good way to look at it, Lisa, because I do feel kind of like I'm serving them up for lunch if there is one, you know? And I'm not really. That's kind of a rough way to say it. Mrs. Fluffer, I must not be awake yet because I saw your comment and I'm like, get senior lights? What the heck are senior lights? Yeah, we have sensor lights all around. There was only one time that I know of that the bear came right up to the house. There was one that came right up. We had a gas grill down on the patio on the lower level, and the bear came right up to the gas grill and was trying to get intimate with the gas grill. Paula says that her mama says that bear meat is good. I don't know if I've ever had bear meat. I do like the way you're looking at that, Lisa, that he's like doing, his job so he doesn't mind kind of thing. I would just hate it if he ever got grabbed by an animal. I would feel guilty. I really would. I don't think I've ever had bear meat. If I have, I've forgotten. I've had a lot of venison in my lifetime. The other thing we do, Mrs. Fluffer, is I click on my key fob thing and I make my car make noise. Because that's one thing. I talked to the people at Michigan State University about the whole bear population and migration and everything. And that's one thing that they really don't like is you're supposed to make yourself bigger, like kind of like make your arms out, like you're supposed to be bigger and tougher. Because we're talking just black bear, so I say just as if a 300-pound bear isn't anything to worry about, but you're supposed to make yourself bigger and you're supposed to make noise. I bet your dogs are spoiled rotten, Paula. I bet they are. I bet they're lucky dogs. Paula, there's a comment here from my profile I've never seen here before, so feel free to ignore it if you want to. No, migration from, because bears circle. This is how it was explained to me. I'm no bear expert, but they have like a path that they go, and they'll pretty much, I would say the majority of the ones here, they come through about every 30 days, about every 4 weeks. They do a big circle. They have their own little diameter. Aha, Susie is our resident sleuth, and she has seen that name, Paula. So that's how they move. Like they don't just, well, unless they have their babies, because like I said, we had that one mama bear who had her twins here. She hung around for a couple months. But otherwise, they just kind of come through. Yes, Susie is the best, Mrs. Fluffer. And the unknown profile says, Star Mama, oh crap. Yeah, isn't that interesting that she got hacked? Yeah. Isn't that interesting? How's that go? We might be old, but we're not stupid. And even if we are old and stupid, shame on them. It makes you wonder who sent those emails, right? Paula says Susie is a bloodhound. Doesn't it make you wonder who started the crap again? Like, what a great way to launch a new channel, right? Start stirring up some crap. You know, stir the guacamole. Serve it up. Susie says, hacked my ass. Oh, I hope not. Well, I think it was Gypsy who got hacked, Susie, not the other one. Susie is barking now. I wish we weren't always under the microscope with the scumbag attackers, because I have a really cute woof woof story for you guys, but I can't tell you. The profile that we're not familiar with said, I'd have to go back to catch up, I just woke up. I think we all just woke up too. Don't you think it's funny how we started calling the fake advocate avocado here, and now everyone else is going on, oh yeah, I made that up. Yeah, that was me. I made that up. And then, remember Set the Record Straight used that photo of Alice Cooper? Remember that? And we started calling her Alice, and now everyone else is like, yeah, we call her Alice. Yeah, we call her Alice Cooper. Like, do they have any original thoughts, or do they just suck all of their content from other channels? Samantha says, Susie bloody knows everything, man. LOL, lots of love. I never know what's going on. I nearly get time for us. Susie knows all the tea. Mrs. Fluffer says, I never watched Avocado. I didn't know WTF she was. Only Alice. No missing that face. Carla says, same here, Samantha. Always last. Nope. Same here, Samantha. Always lost. LOL. Lots of love. I should have probably had my coffee before I started this live chat. That little wild animal fight that just took place, though, kind of helped to wake me up. Oh, that's good, Lisa. There was a channel this week that talked about attackers like you do, MM. Joe Mama says, still don't know who the avocado is. You are out of the loop, Lovey, because she isn't even the avocado anymore. Now she's guacamole. I don't think there are any cute little icons for guacamole, though, so the avocado still works. So I don't know, maybe I'll do a list of all of the examples of the ruse, right? last I heard, profile that we don't know, the avocado, aka guacamole, is claiming that she's going on Patreon. You know, probably she's been victimized so often, right? She can't take it. She can dish it out, evidently, but come on, you guys. Isn't it interesting that she was appearing on somebody's channel right when the other channel, you know, the hashtag truth, hashtag honesty one, gag. Isn't it interesting that they were live streaming the other one? I mean, come on. The connection is so obvious. So obvious. Ooh, Susie has a poached egg on top of her avocado. Oh, no way. Class is about what? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Susie says, yep, she says she's leaving and going to Patreon. Mrs. Fluffer is really hungry now. She is not kidding. And Samantha loves poached eggs. Well, Samantha, you know what they say about eggs? They're the perfect protein. They're cheap, too. Cheap and healthy. You know what? I bet you the egg consumption in the United States rose sharply over the last year. I'll bet you. Potatoes and eggs. I'll bet. Oh, honey, you have to do breakfast. Okay, everyone, we're going to lecture Samantha. Samantha says, Susie, I don't do breakfast, but I'm starving thanks to you. LOL, lots of love. Samantha, it's important that you do breakfast. Very important, even just something little. Your body does not need to go that long without food. And if you can have a protein and a carb to start your day with, that's the best thing. You don't have to eat a lot, but you have to eat something. Lisa said she did a short video about signing up for her classes on surviving narcissism. Oh, yeah, she's qualified to teach that class. Oh, my goodness. I think she said she was posting a curriculum. Oh, hokey Pete. Well, since she copies every word that comes out of her mouth, I imagine she's probably copying the curriculum too. Susie said the avocado's face when NC told her Mensa says hi. It was gold. She reached straight for her drink. I know a lot of people cut down NC, but I do think she is one talented broad. I really do. I think she is talented. I think she's connected to all of the wrong people, but I think she's talented. Oh no. Lisa said surviving and narcissism and DV and oh my goodness, I hope nobody goes to her for any advice on DV. Ooh, Samantha says she feels sick in the morning with pain. Ooh. Okay, then maybe saltine crackers. A couple of them. Do you feel nauseous in the morning? Because your body needs something. Something. Maybe one of those, like a protein drink, even just like 2 inches of it. Susie says, Samantha, no problem. How do you like your poached egg? LOL. Lots of love. I think that would be poached. The profile that we don't know, but that Paula says is good, says she is MM. You're right about her being connected with all the wrong people. She is. She's just, I mean, you just can't hang with those people and, you know, not have it be a negative for you. And I don't care how many subs, I don't care how, whatever. If those are the people she's hanging with, that's too bad. Because she really is quite the comedian, I think. I really do. I think she's hilarious. Lisa says the NC interrupts her guests to address chat. I don't like that. What I like about it is NC absolutely does not allow the people in her chat to bash people. She doesn't put up with that. All right, XTINCTUBE is here. This is our guest of honor because we are embracing your suggestion. So all credit goes to XTINCTUBE for the name Ruse. Yes, she has a great personality. She is funny as all get out. I just wish she was on, I was going to say the right side, but I hate to say it that way. I wish she was not associating with the scumbag attackers. Mrs. Fluffer says she was talking pretty nasty to be a therapist, in my opinion. She is not a therapist at all. Not at all. That's how I feel, Susie. She's funny, but it's still a no. Because if she's going to associate, I mean, even just hearing her always shouting out to that SR basement dweller who has gerbils, I think. Even just that, it's like, I'm sorry, but if you're going to buddy up to him, And he's the same way. His buddies tell me all I need to know about him. XTINCTUBE says, hit the thumbs up, people. We never care about that stuff. And it doesn't even matter if you subscribe because you won't get notifications half the time anyway. Uh-oh, Mrs. Fluffer's dying again. Hurry up, you guys. Who's had their CPR training? Hold your hand up, quick. Susie says, I have no idea how the basement man gets away with what comes out of his mouth. Well, you know, look at who he hangs with. Like, who cares, right? I think the standard is pretty low. Lisa said she has said in the past that she did, and I believe it 100%. Are you talking about somebody being qualified to be a therapist? Because she is not qualified at all to be a therapist. Not at all. She makes Delusion Dispeller look qualified to diagnose. Lisa, we don't tell. Remember? We say just hang out and you'll figure it out. XTINCTUBE, that's the one that did the, I don't know, the anti-guacamole channel, the new anti-guacamole. But here's the news flash. They're not anti-guacamole at all. They're just positioning all their little players, and they're using good people to make it happen, and they're disgusting pieces of shit. Hey, Christy. Hey, Miss CD. Wow, you guys, look at us. We're all just like these early morning risers here. Well, except for you guys in the UK, right? Gee, I never thought that 5 o'clock in the morning would be a good time to do a live chat. Miss CD says, I'm sitting on the telemonitors tonight. Is that like direct patient care through the telemonitor? All right. You have just, so you kind of hit the brick wall here, and then you heard that the channel had a live chat going, so you're like, yes, I'll stay awake. When I worked nights, I would work 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. and at 3 o'clock in the morning, like tired, just tired. I did everything I could. I had my blueberries. I had everything set to try to stay awake, but there was that 3 o'clock wall. And then at 6 a.m., wide awake, which is good for driving home, but wide awake. You know, at 3 a.m., I'm thinking, oh, I want to go home and go to sleep. At 4 a.m., around 5 a.m., I'd start waking up again because I knew I was out of there at 6. Elena says 3:22 a.m. So let me guess, Arizona. I'm just guessing. Don't tell me, because that would be like semi-doxing. Christy says, Susie, you've got the dirt on everyone. I think she has a really good radar. Her radar swirls really well. And then Christy says, hi, Samantha, Miss CD, Mrs. F, MM, and Paula. Lisa says, LOL, lots of love. That was my guess. 11:22, so you're like far away. Uh-oh, Christy says, looks like Miss Mensa has been thinking again. The thing with the RUSE, that was XTINCTUBE. XTINCTUBE gets all the credit. And when I saw the comment, I'm like, oh my God, that's beautiful. That just fits this entire case. It's all just a ruse. And I don't mean about the think for yourself lady, the Megan gal with the rooster. I don't mean like that. I'm saying every step of the way we've been lied to over and over again. It fits exactly, XTINCTUBE. It fits. Whoa, someone's going fishing. That sounds like more fun, I think, than any of us are going to have today, right? We'll have fun. And I don't think I'm going fishing today. I might go to the beach, but I'm not going fishing today. Christy says I'm way behind again. Hang on, I will catch up. Well, I can kind of put it in a little summary for you if you want, Christy. Pretty much we figure that new channel is nothing but a bunch of scumbag attackers. And we think that Paula and Gypsy got totally used and abused. And you know what? Gypsy's account got hacked. Isn't that interesting timing? Right when Gypsy and Paula stand up to the bullshit and recognize that they're coexisting over there with a bunch of scumbag attackers, then all of a sudden Gypsy's account got hacked? Yeah. And let's face it, any of the little cut downs they were doing of the guacamole weren't that bad at all. And I bet you guacamole was just like enjoying every second of it. It was all tied together. It's all bullshit. It's all the chaos and confusion. Miss CD said, I watched another creator who had Chris Watt's girlfriend before Shannon's interview. I think I saw the one you're talking about, and I think what it is that they're going to have that Kathleen on there. And I think that Kathleen is going to be talking about the girlfriend the girlfriend interview. XTINCTUBE says, such crap. I agree. And I'm sorry, but when a channel creator puts herself out there as a journalist and a writer, yeah, right, and as a true crimer, period, yeah, okay, and then chooses to make harassing phone calls to my house in the middle of the night at 1:07 a.m., 3 calls consecutively using a robo voice app to try to disguise her voice or to make sure that I don't recognize her voice. But for some reason at 1 o'clock in the morning, she didn't pay attention to hiding her phone number too. She called 3 times. She sits up there on her little perch trying to act like she actually writes her own crap. Though I've heard from somebody who works for her that she was looking for a new writer. Okay. I thought that was kind of interesting to hear. She sits up there trying to present herself as a true crime channel, right? Seems to me she'd be a little bit busy with all of her writing. Yeah, whatever. To be calling people at home in the middle of the night with 3 separate phone calls in a row. And guess what? That happened on October 13 of 2020. Over 2 years after she started attacking me. Over 2 years later, she was still making harassing phone calls to my home. So if you can hear that, and if you can know that she's into making harassing phone calls, right? Doesn't it kind of make anything that comes out of her mouth worthless? Ray, I just saw your comment and I'm like, who are you talking about? We're talking about baby. She's my last, so I'm just sniffing her head a lot. You know, if I had my dry erase board out, I'm joking, but you can draw a map of this shit. You can draw it right out and it's all right there. There is a collection of scumbag attackers who jumped on the case of Christopher Watts immediately. They even brag about it. They were jumping on this case within a day or two, right? And then they promote all of these groups and all these channels by buying members, by buying subscribers, and by trying to pretend that they're like, you know, big and huge and they have their, you know, finger on the pulse of the case, right? They're dipshits. If you discuss the case, truly discuss the case with them, they can't do it. They don't know the case. They don't. They're just going with what they think might get them more subscribers. They jump on these cases. They try to make contact with the families. You know, this is a thing. If you're someone who wants to make any kind of a video about any of the family members, I have one question. Did that family member contact you or did you contact that family member? Because if you contacted that family member, if you were the one to reach out to the family member, then guess what? You're a dipshit. Christy says, so we can unsubscribe your channel, Paula? I guess yes. Well, Christy, they hacked Gypsy's account. So what's that tell you? The timing of that? Well, the one who posts a hashtag truth, hashtag honesty is up there lying in a live chat. Yes, lying in a live chat. Bullying, you know, they're so against bullying, right? So she's up there bullying and lying. And then Gypsy's account got hacked. Isn't that something? Or as my one friend Peggy says all the time, well, ain't that special? Ray, I think you're right. I don't know what I watched today or yesterday, but I think it was a recent one where she was talking about somebody I'd never heard of who was saying a lot of negative things about her, and she had all sorts of proof, right? I didn't watch it for long because I can't stand the way she can't seem to keep her penis in her pants. Sorry, I don't know of a better way to say it. And I don't like listening to that crap. It just seems really trashy. But the parts that I did hear, where did the person go who supposedly knew all about the case? Where did the person go who was there to help families? I'm sorry. She's, in my opinion, another, I would say, scumbag attacker, because I think we're kidding ourselves if we think for a second that she hasn't been involved right from the start. Missy D says, has Paula turned on us? No, Paula and Gypsy were being, I think it would be fair to say, abused, used. I think they were used for that channel creator and whoever she's hooked up with, which I think is kind of obvious at this point who she's hooked up with. I highly doubt that she is actually against the guacamole. They did the same thing with the new case, too. They jumped right on. Just like they jumped on with the case of Christopher Watts, they jumped right on. That is not the true crime community, you guys. That is not what the true crimers do. That's what the scumbag attackers on YouTube do. And I normally don't talk about open cases at all, but I want to say something about the one with the little girl who's missing. I don't believe that her parents are involved. I don't. I know that's going against the grain, swimming upstream, but I don't believe the parents are involved. We'll go ahead and address one of our scumbag attackers that's here lurking. Joey says, haven't you attacked Shannon since the start? Joey, if you don't care about Bella and Cece, then you're at the wrong place. You're on the wrong channel right now. Because on this channel, our focus is on Bella and Cece. And we happen to be the only channel who does focus on Bella and Cece and what they suffered through in their short lives. So if you don't care about children, if you don't care about advocating for children to be safe in their own home, then shame on you and run along. Yes, Christy, very convenient timing. You don't think so, Lisa? You think that Summer died and that they were covering up neglect or something? Joey, hear me, okay? I'm not going to waste my energy this morning dealing with you. So hear me. And this is it, okay? You are welcome to be here. You are welcome to take part in the discussion. You're not welcome to come here and just be a bitch, okay? So join the discussion if you want, or leave. Elena, do you think it was an accidental death? Elena said, I think something was done by the parents. I disagree. I disagree. And I know a lot of people think like you do, Elena. So do you think it was an accidental death and then they covered it up? Christy has a comment for Paula. Thanks, Paula. Nasty women. Sorry for what they did to you. Trying to jeopardize your friendship with MM. Ooh, Miss CD. Interesting. That's my theory on the Casey Anthony, or on the Kaylee Anthony case. I think she drowned. So you think that the little girl drowned and they covered it up? XTINCTUBE says, I think brothers or drug-related stealing. Susie has a question for Paula. Paula, you and Gypsy didn't have access? Star Mama says, I think one of the brothers hurt her and she died. Mrs. Fluffer says, I'm really confused by it. I am too, and I haven't really dug into it. But I think that the family probably doesn't have what it takes to survive the social media onslaught. And I think that they may be painted in a far worse way than what they really were. Personally, I don't think the parents were involved. Oh, Miss CD points out that photo. She doesn't think she was alive in that photo. When I saw that photo, I thought, ooh, that was kind of creepy. I don't think that the parents are involved. I don't. And for them not to have found her yet, I think it is possible that whoever harmed her removed her from the home, removed her from the property. That's an interesting question, Ray. Have they set up any GoFundMes yet? Lisa says there's time missing in the parents' timeline, but I thought the dad was at work. Wasn't he at work? What is a GPM? Oh, a GoFundMe. My eyes aren't awake yet. They have a GoFundMe. Are you kidding? They do? So it's all the same, isn't it? Social media is going ape shit over it. And they set up a GoFundMe? Seriously? Okay, MM, you need to watch the interview room interviews with the dad. Okay. Yes. I don't know about you guys, but in my normal everyday life, I don't know anybody who has ever set up a GoFundMe. Ever. Well, let's take a look here if I can do this at the same time. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see my screen or not, but I'll go ahead and look. GoFundMe. GoFundMe. It's circling. It'll take a second. Okay, I'm going to search. Search. My computer has a touch screen, and I think it's getting touchy. Because when I click on the thingy, it won't do what I tell it to. Come on, go. Search. Ah. Okay, here we go. I think. Just went to a different screen. And it's just an ad for GoFundMe. Oh, now it's blank. Okay, it says browse. Give me a search bar. Come on. There we go. Okay, Summer Wells. Search. Wow. 26,248 fundraisers. Maybe we need to narrow our search. Let's go for Candace and Summer. And see if that works. Okay, I don't see anything here. Let's try Summer Wells, Tennessee. I don't see any. So I don't see any GoFundMe for Summer. Oh, the GoFundMe is on the grandma's Facebook page. Well, let's do it this way then. Let's go to Facebook and look it up. Okay, search Summer Wells. I'll put fundraiser. See if that works. Okay, let's see. There are a lot of groups, which is bothersome, very, very bothersome. Wow, the Betty Broderick group is going strong. Whew. Okay, let's see here. I don't know what I'm looking for, you guys. No, I was just on Facebook looking for it. Okay. Yeah, look at my tech skills. I can't even make my little thingy work. Star Mama says, I asked Dorothy what happened to the comments. I got nothing. And she told me the mods, and she told the mods tonight I wanted them all gone. She did a 4-hour live bashing me and MM. Screw Dorothy. I'm with you, Paula. Screw Dorothy. So here's the weird part, though. Like, step back and take a look at how this whole case is being handled. This is an open case. It's an open investigation, and social media is going ape over it. That has never been how it's been done in the true crime community, ever, until the case of Christopher Watts came along and everyone jumped right on, making all sorts of videos about the case as if they knew details that they didn't know. They jump on these cases and they find evidently family members who'll jump on with them, right? Remember that case after the case of Christopher Watts, also from Colorado? Her name was Kelsey, and her baby's daddy and her baby's daddy's girlfriend were involved with her murder, right? Or covering up her murder, or cleaning up. I guess, I don't know exactly what role either one of them played, but it was a terrible, gruesome murder. It was disgusting, terrible, tragic. And the scumbag attackers jumped quick to try to grab onto that case, just like they grabbed onto the case of Christopher Watts. And Kelsey's mother said, stop it. Leave us alone. Don't you dare. And you know what? They stopped it. They left her alone. They didn't dare. And that, in my opinion, is exactly what should have happened with the case of Christopher Watson. Even though it didn't happen at first, at the point that all the attacks and harassment and threats started happening, it seems to me like it would have happened then. You know, again, the word ruse, R-U-S-E. All of these channels who get up there and say, oh, we're against bullying. Well, they're bullying people, right? Oh, we're against anyone harassing anyone. Well, they're harassing people. Star Mama says, on the Mr. and Mrs., they had 2 fundraisers. Mr. and what? Oh. I missed some of the comments, you guys. So I'm kind of coming in here midstream. Mr. and Coots shaved their beards if they raised $1,000 each. They did. It was for Summerwell's church. Weird. What is that about shaving the beard? Like, come on. I hadn't watched any of that stuff, but seriously? I don't know. I just gave 12 inches of virgin hair to Locks of Love. Maybe I should have down on live stream and taking donations for it or something. I'm being facetious. Miss CD says, nobody doing better than you will ever try to bring you down. Only people below you do that. Exactly. They're so busy trying to grab their way up that they think they can pull you down and then stand on you to raise themselves up. But they don't know that that isn't how it works. They need to just stand on their own. That's one thing I notice about the scumbag attackers. They don't seem to be able to just stand on their own. They feel like they have to hook up with a bunch of other people. Those are the ones who just jump on to try to make some money, right? Because I do think that there are organized groups competing even with each other, 2 or 3 of them, trying to own the case of Christopher Watts. But an interesting part of this is they were attacking me before I had even heard of this case. So part of their attack plan was to target people to use as what is known as a scapegoat. So then they can point and they can say, look at that, she's so terrible, she's so mean. They were using my name and my photo and they were posting lies before I had even heard of this case. Miss CD said, just look at Alice Cooper. Her show is nothing but bashing people. Her own daughter told her to stop. Yes, Susie, cowards run in packs. Miss CD, I don't know how long ago it was, but Alice did a terrible video bashing Cindy Watts and me both in her terrible video. So any part of her that sits there in that kitchen and tries to act like, I don't know, like she has dry eyes, I think. You know how she blinks and blinks and blinks and goes from one screen to the other like she's, monitoring some serious surveillance equipment or something at the very beginning of her videos, like it's all serious, right? She's been an attacker from early on. And once you listen to her bashing Cindy Watts, it's like, really? Like she can't even read her script well. XTINCTUBE said, wow, her daughter told her to stop. How old is the daughter? Star Mama says, well, I have learned one thing, know all the enemies out there. They're really, unfortunately, I don't want to go on very long at all about how they do have gifts. Some of them do have gifts, and it's too bad that they don't just apply their gifts to their channels. But instead, I think they want what they think is the easy cash. Yes, Alice's restaurant. Susie says, every day is a school day. But okay, take a look at that other channel. She's sitting up there pretending she's a writer, okay? Pretending like she's got some true crime channel. When what she really specializes in is harming and harassing innocent people. Take a look at Alice. Same thing. She sits up there and pretends like she cares about crafts. But what she really cares about is being able to use her platform to make some money. There's nothing wrong with being in business and making a profit. There's nothing wrong with working your business. And if that's her business, that's fine. But if you have to make your money off of harming innocent people, shame on you. And I'm not going to believe a word that you say. Once Alice made that video bashing Cindy Watts, I don't believe a word she says. And that whole script thing that she pulled, oh yeah, she got her hands on the script. Well, of course she did. Do you think any of these people are just running independent? They're not. Even AD. Do you guys really believe that all of these channels don't like AD? Do you really believe that? I don't. Christy, I don't know what you're saying. I heard that somebody bagging those two the other day. I've never heard this, but does the Mr. have MS? I have no idea what your comment means. Sorry. I bet you everyone else knows, though. Well, if her daughter did tell her to stop, then I say good for her daughter. Star Mama's answering you, Christy. I told you other people would know. She said, Christy, that's what he claims, but still rides a motorcycle. You guys are so far out in left field, or else I'm out in left field because I don't know what you're talking about. Susie says it's all the so-called truth channels that go for AD, truth channels that support the ruse. And yet AD stays standing for 3 years. Do you ever wonder if they get together and say, okay, AD, we're going to run this case just like we ran the last one. We're going to attack you, and we're going to act like we're offended by you, and then you'll get a lot of views, and we'll get a lot of views, and we'll all make a lot of money, and we'll pretend like you're a bad person. Carla says she imitates people. One day she is different from the next. If she's going to hum or sing, you'll know it's wrong. LOL. Lots of love. I don't know who you're talking about, but I'll tell you, the guacamole, when she sings, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard. Star Mama says, LMAO, keep getting attacked. You learn plenty, trust me. Yeah, we should write a book together, Paula. We could call it something like Easy Target, they think, or something like that. Something doofusy like that. Christy said, did you see? Oh, wait, she said, yes, Lisa, how good was what Chris McDonough said about AD? But Christy, when you watched that, did you really believe that Chris McDonough was actually shocked by it, or that what was the lady's name, Linda, or that Linda was unaware? Because when I saw that little clip, I thought, wow, how many of these channels are connected? Oh, Alice is trying to sing? No way. Alice should go do dollar store tours. I think they're all wannabe actresses or something. I remember in one of the videos that the guacamole posted where she was saying, I'm coming for you, Mensa. In that video, she goes, I don't care how famous you are. I've taken on bigger, challenges. She didn't say the word challenges because I think that's too many syllables for her. But she said something like how she always wins, and all this crap. But I thought, famous? Are you kidding? She said it like she meant it. I don't care how famous you are. Like, how sick is that? In your regular daily lives, do you know anybody who has ever started a GoFundMe? Christy said, Paula, MM likes the missus. I think if you're talking about the one who says she has a husband but who doesn't, I did at first. I did. And I do think that she is in a situation that probably is not good for her. I do. And I do think she has strengths. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, can anyone guess who that is? That being said, ladies and gentlemen. But along the way, and with the way she hooks up with all of the wrong people, I have learned, of course, not to trust her. All right, Miss CD is watching the clock. She's awake now. There's another Mr. and Mrs. Team too who aren't even married. What is that about? Did YouTube send out a notice to all their little, quacks for hire? Hey, you guys, it might work out good for you if you pretend like you're married. Because there for a while, there were like 3 or 4 of them talking about their husbands, and they hadn't even met yet. I'm not sure who we're talking about either, Lisa, but I think we're talking about the one who used the F word a lot, but now she's acting a lot more passive and timid. Did you guys notice that? I don't watch her stuff, but I did see part of the video where she was sitting next to him one time, and she acted so timid and so passive, and I think she thinks he's really smart or something. I'm thinking she thinks he's really smart. Lisa said meth mouth. I've never heard her called that, but if you mean missing teeth, yes. But I felt really bad when I saw those few minutes because it was like she was shy, and she isn't shy at all. But around him, she acts really timid and passive, and it's like she kept kind of putting her face down. I mean, if they were my neighbors and I saw that, I would be thinking, oh my goodness, I want to be sure to reach out to her to know that there's help available if she needs it, you know? Recline is saying that guacamole was out of it. Yeah, I think she comes and goes. Miss CD, I think we're talking about the one who used to be really strong and use foul language, and she was like a tough girl. And then she hooked up with her husband, who isn't her husband, and now she comes across as being very passive. I'm concerned for her seriously that she's thinking he's smarter than she is, because I don't think he is at all. Lisa said she was terribly abused as a child. I don't know who we're talking about. Lisa says Sunny and XTINCTUBE leaves no doubt. Christy says you're famous to us, MM. Well, I feel sorry for you, Christy, if I'm famous to you. But it seems so weird for the guacamole to say that. Like, these people seriously think they're some kind of star or something. They really do. And that is so strange. You know, what is it called? The alternate universe or the alternate reality? Like, how many alternate realities do they have? That's okay, XTINCTUBE. You get a free pass today because you came up with a really good word. Elena says the guy is a bad mouth talker. Or the guy is a bad mouth talker. Bizarro. Exactly. Bizarro world. That's a good way to say it. Oh, here's a long one. Here we go. The super thirsty recliner to e-bag is using names just like XTINCTUBE. Definitely looks like, why isn't it to get her kid away from what? I know it. It's kind of freaky when all these people are on YouTube saying they're an advocate. You know, well, it's been almost 3 years now. When the case of Christopher Watts first came out, there were a lot of them literally calling themselves advocates and pretending they were certified and licensed and all that crap. And they were giving advice and they were telling people, if you're in an abusive relationship, then you need to just leave. Just leave. Just leave. Right now, just leave. And at one point I said, stop saying that because that's very dangerous advice to give. So stop saying it. And of course, they were already attacking me, right? So I'll go ahead and say what I think. And they all went ballistic over it. And then they actually made videos saying Miss Mensa says to stay in an abusive relationship because they're that much of a dimwit, right? You don't ever, ever tell somebody who's in an abusive relationship to just leave. Because the moment the abuser catches on that they're losing total power and control, that is the most dangerous moment of the entire relationship. So it is the dumbest advice ever to say, just leave. What you say is, I'm here to listen. I'm here to help. You need a safe escape plan. Never say, just leave. A person in an abusive relationship will leave when their own gut feeling tells them it's safe to do so. Christy says, I think the missus is just really strange. The thirsty one says that she claims her ex is abusive. SR man looks like KTA needs some advocating. Miss CD, you and me both. I can't stand watching it. When they started giving advice on the 35C as if they knew what they were talking about, that's when the mister got all pissy with me. That's the other thing. You have a bunch of women over on Watts Island trying to tell everyone that they can give advice on crap that they know nothing about. They seem to think that if they experience something in their own life, then that qualifies them to become a psychologist, right, with their doctorate. It doesn't at all. And on the same little crap island, there are a bunch of men who try to act like they know something about the 35C. They don't. They don't know diddle. I'm just reading your comments. I'm not sleeping. Yes, we all hope that Paula's health is getting better. That is for sure. Oh, yeah, he knows everything, doesn't he? He knows everything. You know, I stood up for him a couple of times. I did. But you know how I told you how when I'm driving, I think? Do you remember that thing? And I'm not going to say who he is or whatever. So if you don't know, it doesn't even matter who he is. It's the issue itself that I'm talking about. He groped a coworker. Okay? He grabbed her. He touched her. And I'm not sure, but I think her husband was a deputy or something. Her husband, I think, was somehow connected to the police. And he got arrested and he got convicted. And then when the guy got in some kind of tiff with another channel, then the other channel exposed him. And I guess he had confided in the guy or something. Oh, come on, right? We've seen this for nearly 3 years. It's all BS. It's all boohoo victim, boohoo this, boohoo that. In the meantime, there was a coworker who got grabbed. And years later, we're all supposed to pretend that it never really happened. It did happen. And I think the way that I stood up for him was thinking, I don't know, it was said that he has some kind of social confusion. So he was missing the cues or something. I don't know. Well, that's a pretty good excuse for anyone who wants to grab somebody's boob. Sorry, not good enough. Not good enough. His anger toward women is palpable. He has anger toward women. When he first started on the case of Christopher Watts, I actually hopped up on his panel. And I actually thought he might be a good person, right? A good guy, a good channel. And guess what? He wasn't. He is one who actually admitted that he was contacted by one of the known organizers of the whole scumbag attackers. He admitted that person contacted him and said, hey, you should be doing live chats. Hey, you should be doing this. You should be, you know. So he openly admitted that somebody contacted him and said, you should be doing this. And then he got his ugly chair and his big microphone, right? I think they send out little care packages to whoever they're recruiting. And sure enough, within just a few videos, he had my name right in the title. And I think he called me something nasty. I can't remember. I'm not sure. But I'm telling you, that man hates women. I highly doubt that the woman whose breast he grabbed gives a shit about whether or not he can pick up on social cues. I would have been able to respect a person who came clean, who said, I made a mistake. I acted inappropriately. I feel bad for the person. Right? No, that's not what he's doing. Years later, he's going, yeah, she was flirting, and then her husband was whatever, however connected. It sounds kind of like Stephen Avery, quite frankly. Stephen Avery complaining because remember how he used to go out in his front yard and expose himself to the woman driving on her way to work in the morning? And then one of the lawyers, and I think it was episode 1 of that first 10-part series, said, well, he was just trying to make the rumors stop, I think is how she said it, something along those lines. Okay. Really? Because he hopped in his pickup truck, he had a gun, he ran her off the road with her little baby right in the car because she was taking the baby to the babysitters before she went to work, ran her off the road in the middle of the winter, put a gun to her head, and dragged her back to his truck. Oh, well, he just wanted, her to stop talking about how he was evidently playing with himself in the front yard when she drove by. And her husband was a deputy. As if having a husband who's a deputy then means that the woman's accusation is obviously not true. Well, if he grabbed the other guy, not Stephen Avery, if he grabbed her boob and then years later he feels led to make a shit video about me, and then years after grabbing that woman's boob, he's sitting there going, wow, miscommunication, right? I'm thinking he didn't take any responsibility at all. I'm sorry. And I actually stood up for him. I did. But as time goes on, it's like, no, I'm not going to stand up for that. He grabbed her boob. He has no right to her boob. I would say that if this many years later, he's still making excuses, well, I guess it says it all when I say I think he hates women. I think he has anger toward women. Big time. I'm seeing a lot of love for Paula here in the chat, so that's cool. And we have love for Gypsy too. She's certainly welcome. And don't feel bad, Paula, because from watching, this is how they do it. It is not by accident. It is not in response or in reaction. They plan it out, they work it, and then they deliver. And remember, Paula, they think when they pick on the not so techno savvies like you and me, that we'll be easy targets. And you know what? Maybe they can have some fun with us for a while, but we're not stupid. I think that even that mister that you guys were talking about, I think he has a thing against women too. I think there's a certain other someone who has a major thing against women too. Major. As in mommy issues. Big time. I love it that you guys are wide awake in the morning like this, or that for those of you who it's later in the day or earlier in the day, that this time works out for us to talk. This is cool. The super thirsty one says, people in general who don't take responsibility for their choices. Exactly right. Star Mama says, well, Dorothy is following me around now, leaving nasty comments. She knows she lied and made stuff up. So she is doing what she had an issue with KTA doing to her. She has no room to talk. She said on her stupid live chat that I wouldn't let her comment. What a liar. What an absolute liar. She said that I wouldn't let her comment, so she had to do a live chat. Are you kidding me? The thirsty one says, you have never changed your position regarding this case. I think I have, over time, changed my position about the families, because I think at first I was pretty naive. So I've opened my eyes a lot about the families. But yeah, the case itself, nope. Elena has rain going on. Good. Good for you. The plants are thirsty. Miss CD, you only have like 20 minutes to go. And you might even be able to leave earlier too if you were like me when I worked nights and we got the relief person coming in. We'd always try to get there a little bit early and relieve the others sooner. So Miss CD's probably driving home now. I'm scrolling. Oh, I just saw this, Susie. He called me a cow. Oh my goodness. So think about it. You know how AD is another one with some sort of a hidden issue with women. Sorry, but when you're in your late 60s, I think by that age you should learn that you don't call women girls. You just don't. Not if you have respect for them as women. You call them ladies, right? You call them women. You don't call them girls. I think AD has some sort of inner anger, I'll say. I almost said rage, but I don't think it's rage. I think he has some inner anger toward women. And I think that's part of his jollies that he gets from his channel, is that he has a bunch of women following him. I think he likes screwing with them. And I don't mean physically, so. Oh, I didn't see Lisa said I need to go to sleep. Good night. Summer Breeze says the way he talks about NK is scary. I think she's talking about the Australian. Well, think about it. Name any male involved with the case of Christopher Watts, and you tell me, do they like women or do they hate women? Ray is focused on her cat's weight. That's cute. Summer Breeze, you know the rules. Stop it. Or maybe you don't know the rules. We don't name names here. We talk in code. The thirsty one, the super thirsty one says, AD, I guess we'll use AD's name. Because we do use AD's name. He hates women and is super slimy. I saw the escort business he was running. Gross. No morals. Do you really think he was running an escort business? I don't. My opinion, I think the AD is in on it all. Kangaroo's a good one, Summer Breeze. Good one. But in my opinion, I think that AD has been in right from the start on all the attacks. I think he's part of the game. I think that the attacks against him are something he's totally fine with, and it's all part of the scam. My opinion. Follow the money. How can anyone be making any money if they don't have a bunch of scapegoats that they can be blaming, right? Boo-hoo. We've heard it all. Money, money, money. Oh, thanks for that. What's it called? Super chat, right? Thanks for that super chat. I mean, if you watch Alice Cooper, she'll sit there and say, they need to stop making money off of the case. Oh, thanks for the super chat. It's all about money. Oh, no, you're kidding me. Your cat is on anti-anxiety meds? Are you sure your cat needs anti-anxiety meds? Seriously, you're giving your cat anti-anxiety meds? What, are you a veterinarian or something? Ray says, yeah, I watched her making profiles or something. Full-time mom who also works nights, yeah. Isn't it interesting how they always talk about having a job, yet they're on social media 24/7? Summer Breeze says, some cats are very nervous. I think some cats are just not meant to be cats. They're meant to be like out running and stuff. Aw, Susie's son's dog gets separation anxiety. My dog gets the condition known as ha ha ha, she isn't here, so I'm going to sit on the couch. He actually knocks stuff off of my desk too. He thinks that's funny. He gets angry if I leave without him, so he'll knock things off of my desk. Aw, I would leave some lights on. A woman shared how she mortgaged her house to donate to AD for his book and movie. Okay, and to that I ask, do you believe that? I don't believe it. There's another good example of the Ruse, R-U-S-E. Remember that one video where she was putting on her tennis shoes and pretending that she was going to go for a run? That's pretty sick. I don't believe it either, Summer Breeze. That's one thing that makes it easier to see the bigger picture with all the scam artists going on, is if you just step back and say, is this true? Do you guys remember the therapist named Byron Katie? She wasn't even a therapist, I don't think. She was a woman, she's an author, and she has developed a really good anti-anxiety practice, I would say, process to help people dealing with anxiety. And the first thing you do is you step back and you say, is this true? Like whatever it is you're afraid of, whatever it is that has kind of like consumed you that you're going like, oh my gosh, right? Then stop and say, is this true? And then you state the opposite, right? Like you reframe it. And it's very helpful. It's a helpful tool. Oh, okay, Christy, that's right. That's right. And that is when I was actually like making excuses and feeling like, well, but guess what? I mean, over time I've gone like, what? No, I'm sorry. There are millions of people with Asperger's who don't run around grabbing women's boobs, right? Ray says, I'm a big fan of reframing. I am too, Ray. Proverbs wants to know, is it true that the Aussie man is speaking with Mr. and Mrs. Watts? You guys are going to be shocked when I tell you this. I don't think the Watts are speaking to any of these people. Any of them. I think that it's possible they may have a connection to their daughter. Possibly. But I've listened to some of what the other channels who claim they're in connection with the Watts, some of what they're saying they're being told. I don't believe it. I think they're sucking content from other people's channels. Christy says, I don't think he hates women. I think he hates NK. No, I think he hates women, Christy. I do. Star Mama says, I thought she had lupus, but she was always in the sun. That's usually a bad idea. And go for a run? Never. The thirsty one says, mine too. She stops eating when not with me. Aw, she is my service dog, the best dog I've ever had. I do believe it. Why would she admit to such and be so upset? Oh, the mortgage? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't believe it. I think what we're dealing with in the little Watts Island routine are a whole bunch of people who think that they're actors. How do you say that, thirsty one? Is it Pyrenees? I don't know. Thirsty one says AD is in love with money. I think it's inner anger. I think the men involved in this case, talking about this case, I think they have anger toward women. I don't know, maybe they got cheated on. Maybe they got taken to the cleaners, or they think they did. Don't you love it when people complain about having to pay 25 or 30% of their income to their ex? Well, their ex is having to pay 100% of their income, right? How convenient would that be to just write a little check while your ex is paying 100% of their income? So maybe they have anger issues over getting screwed in a divorce or something. And I'm not saying they were screwed in a divorce, but I'm saying that they convinced themselves they were. Or maybe they hate their moms. Maybe they're angry with their own mother. Could be. Or maybe they're just dimwits. I don't know. Exactly. They might just be arseholes and nothing else. LOL. Lots of love. Yeah, any man, any grown man who is calling any woman a cow or a bitch or any of those other words, they have anger issues toward women. Well, remember, you guys, we are not on the island. We're in the village. We just take little cruises out there and take a peek sometimes, but we don't reside on the island. They come to our village a lot, but fifth grade boys' bathroom. That's a cute one. Proverbs wants to be the village idiot. I know, Susie. I know it. Ray wants to know who is mooing. Ray says my toddler would love mooing. Elena says, is that a reason you hate women? She says, we never hate men because a bad divorce or being cheated. Well, we just go, next. She says she's kidding, but she isn't. The Aussie man moos when talking about NK. Does he really? Seriously? That is a man who hates women. Okay. Exactly, super thirsty. This is the channel that focuses on Bella and Cece. All the other ones are focusing on how much money they can rake in. I guess let's look at it this way. What channel creator who is male can you name who doesn't hate women? The long silence means I can't name one. Susie points out that the basement man also speaks to women in a shocking manner. I'll say this, since we have so many lurkers and stalkers and scumbag attackers who are hanging out in the darkness, watching, probably looking for content so they can run back to their scumbag attacker creators and say, please, please let me write your monologue for you. If you know of any channel creator who is male, who doesn't hate women, please let us know. Super Thirsty says the other guy from Australia. Who is that? I don't know the other guy. Well, I mean, don't say who, but give me a hint. There's Susie, always watching. Ray says lurkers excited to do lives on the man-hating Bobs. Answers on a postcard. I'm still trying to think of one, and I can't think of one. I am a mole, and I live in a hole. SR not very nice either. The male. Oh, the basement dweller. Carla, good job. Scott Rice does not hate women, and he discusses the case of Christopher Watts. There's one. Good job. Scott Reich earned my respect when his comment threads were filling up with a bunch of crap, and I messaged him, and he had his assistant take care of it immediately. Ray says, I love Scott. Proverb says, I'm an old lady who lives in a shoe. Proverb says, I can't stand SR. I have zero respect for him because of the fact that he was a wrench or a mod or whatever they're called for one of the nastiest channel creators of all. And then he tries to act like he doesn't remember. He doesn't remember. Yeah, bullshit. Scott Reich is a man who does not hate women. Although I don't think Scott Reich lives out on Watts Island either. I think he's a village dweller. I do. I think he lives in the village, specific to the case of Christopher Watts. I don't see him out on that island at all. Do you know the one who dances in her garage? Do you think that she's actually speaking with the Watts family? Uh-oh, Star Mama's having a pity party. Star Mama says, well, I'm over here on a pity party. I got an email that they are in the comment section talking about me on the X channel, stating so, and MM was over there to just get subs. Yeah, right. Yeah, as if we want subs from that channel. Yeah, okay. Star Mama, I think that you and Gypsy were both used, and I think they're proving it by what you're saying here. I think they're proving it. Carla says, Will from 401. Oh, wait, 411. Is that the guy who, he's kind of skinny looking, and when he walks around his house, I don't see any trees? Doesn't he talk about aliens and stuff? Is that the one? And I've never heard him talk about it, but I think that the Alice Cooper lookalike talks about him like he's into aliens. Proverb says, I'm so sorry, Star Mama. I hate that this has happened. Super Thirsty says, yes, Scott and another, but I can't recall his name. He has backed off this case. I have the hats, or I thought it was hats off. I have the hots for Nick Vanderleek. I like the way you go, Der Van Leek. It's Vander. Oh, I don't like him. He might be a cutie, but I don't like him. Summer Breeze has the hots for true crime rocket science, you guys. The only person associated with the case of Christopher Watts that I think is worthy of anybody having the hots for is that window well hopping officer who arrived at the house. I think the window well hopper is hot. And like I said, if we ever do a calendar on the hotties of the Watts case, he'll be January. Susie is not fussed on TCRS. Star Mom says, I'm cracking up. Well, Gypsy is pissed and her account got hacked. I wish them luck. She went to bed not happy at all. Chips, yes. Yes, the Chips, the Eric Estrada look-alike. The way that man was window well hopping, you can tell that he actually does go to the gym. He doesn't just put his tennis shoes on for a video. You guys want to make a calendar? We can do that. But so far, I don't know. I would have a problem, I think, with putting Nick Vanderleek in it. I don't know. We'd have to ask these guys if they mind, too. We don't want to, like, harass anybody, you know? Star Mama says he is a hottie and I'm an oldie. When that one guy first came out, the one who was the politician when he was young, when he first came out, I actually clicked on the speech that he gave back when he was a politician, and I thought, oh, he's kind of hot. But then when I saw, I don't know, it must have been a lot of years ago. I don't know. Yeah, we only have January, Elena. Ray says, I need a link to his face. I just looked at the time. Do you guys know how long we've been talking? A long time. Mrs. J-Dub says Ronnie can be February. And Susie thinks that's funny. Ray says not long enough. The thirsty one says TCRS is hot to her. Well, my car is washed. Very well, in fact. It was washed the other day too, pretty well. But yesterday it was washed very well. And then I'm going to pull some of my papers and stuff out of the passenger side. And I'm going to put the top down today. Yeah, I wonder why, Paula. Paula says, I'm wide awake. I wonder why. Yeah, there's nothing quite like getting attacked by a bunch of scumbag attackers to interrupt your sleep pattern. Proverbs says to Paula, to Star Mama, hope things get better soon. And Paula, I want to focus on this for a second and just say to you, I know I just laughed and everything. It is not funny. It sucks. What they're pulling is bullshit. You don't deserve it. Neither does Gypsy at all. They're showing exactly what they're made of. In a way, in a weird way, this will sound stupid. In a way, they're doing you a favor because they're so flipping obvious. It is good advice to say, do your best to just ignore them. And I know that sounds so stupid, right? Like, how do you ignore that? But if you engage or if you react, then that just feeds their sick little minds. You're better than they are. You are a better person than they are. And they know it because they know they're a bunch of scumbags. They know they lie. They know that they don't have any content at all without plugging into the bullshit they're plugging into. Ray says, step away, Paula. If you're not well, they're not worth ruining your health. And it is so true. Focus on the good. Focus on the pluses. They have shown their true colors. You didn't waste one more day. You didn't waste one more month or year, or whatever, believing that they weren't scumbag attackers, because that's what I call them. They're scum. Your health matters. And if they're sending you stupid emails, if they're sending you, posting comments, and if people are sending you links to stuff, just walk away from it. Walk away from it all. Maybe say, okay, maybe on Wednesday I'll go ahead and read them or something. But right now, you want to go for a good walk. You want to make sure you're drinking lots of water. You want to eat healthy foods. You want to try your best to get good sleep. You want to talk to a trusted friend, right? Connect with your kids, connect with your grandkids. Write about your experience. Maybe that's one good way to kind of get it off of your chest. Just sit down and write about your feelings about it and pray. Seriously, pray for protection against the evil that's out there. Because all of these people who are taking part in the ridiculous attacks against those of us who they evidently are feeling pretty challenged by, right? They're operating from evil. They're evil. People who are not evil would not be acting the way they're acting. So say a prayer of protection, say a prayer for strength, for good health, and for moving forward, and also for fine tuning our radar, all of us. And I'm the worst. I trust everybody until I don't. So today is all about you, what you need, your basics, right? And you do know how to mentally flip people off, right? And if you don't know how to say the F word, learn how to say the F word. You don't have to say it to other people, but in your own thoughts about these scumbags, F them. I do too, Mrs. J Dub. And I was going to click on it, but I started focusing on the other situation with the scumbags. You know they're going to keep going too. That's the other thing, Paula. They're going to keep going and going and going. And sooner or later, they'll peter out just like all the other ones who have come and gone. So moving forward on our next live chat, we're going to come up with a calendar. I don't know how we're going to do it. I'm thinking about the whole idea of screen sharing, right? I don't know. If any of you are super techno geeky, then let me know. The super thirsty one says, Paula, that's for sure. Now they're out to be monetized and wait for the what KTA pulls when she starts showing all her screenshots and betraying the R's. It's going to get so bad, in my opinion. Super thirsty. I don't think she's betraying the R's at all. I think she's trying to, or I think that there is, I think, an effort going on to try to make it look like she isn't connected to the R's. I mean, take a look at it so far, right? She's supposedly so hurt by everything, right? And what does she come up with so far? That she loaned one of them some money and she got paid back. Keep in mind, they all need to have content in order to have their channels rolling, right? Paula says she's relieved to be gone from the channel. Good for you. You know that channel was pretty toxic anyway, right? There was a lot of anger, a lot of nasty. All right, Miss CD, you broke free. So for the next live chat, we'll go ahead and try to come up with 12 hotties. And we know who Mr. January is already, the Eric Estrada lookalike. That'll give us something to look forward to. Just kind of a fun little exercise. See if we can find 12 hotties in the case of Christopher Watts. And just a heads up, Christopher Watts is not a hottie, okay? At all. He will not be in the calendar. Well, now that Miss CD has finished her shift, I think what we should do is everybody give Star Mama a virtual hug. Ray says we have 10 thumbs down already. Yeah, they like to thumbs down. As if we care. Yeah, I think we should vote, except if anyone wants to vote Christopher Watson, I would have to veto that. Because I don't want him in the calendar. That would just be weird. But besides him, yeah, I think we should vote. I think that makes sense. Because, you know, how's that trash and treasure thing go? One person's trash is another person's treasure. Super Thirsty says that she thinks that Guacamole is going to let some of the private convos out. See, I don't think so. I just don't. Super Thirsty says, "Purdy, please, for Nick." He does have a nice voice. Yeah, I would say CW is the only one that I would say no to. If everyone voted and said they wanted CW in it, I'd go, nuh-uh. Anybody else is fine. If you guys vote for him, I mean. But you have to honestly think he's cute, right? You have to honestly think they're hot. I don't know. I might have a problem with Daniel Bishop, too, if you guys want to vote him in. Because he was pretty nasty there for a long time. Even though he's not nasty against me now, he was pretty nasty there for a long time. So I don't know. I would have to kind of think about that. He has been nice since, though. So that's, I don't know. I'll tell you who's not going to go in it is that, what's his name? The one who grabbed the woman's boob. Because if anybody has any history whatsoever in any kind of child abuse, any kind of assault, whatever, any kind of history of any of that crap, then no, they don't go in our calendar. Because like I've said a million times, we don't make excuses for that kind of crap here. I notice I'm pausing longer in between while I'm sitting here reading the comments. So I'm thinking, Dr. Phil? You think he's hot? Are you kidding? You guys aren't kidding, are you? Oh my goodness. Are you kidding? He does have nice teeth. He is nice and tall. Oh, good. You're kidding. Oh no. You guys. Oh, okay. It's green. I get it. Okay. It might be hard to come up with 12. Oh, he has veneers. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, there's that. Star Mama says Dr. Phil is too old for a calendar. Are you age shaming, Star Mama? Well, actually, if his role in this was different, then I would say he's an attractive guy, right? But this whole, I don't know. I'm too tired to go there right now. 12 arseholes will be much easier. LOL. Lots of love. Super Thirsty says, Part 1 is kind about women and cute. Daniel Bishop has been e-begging, not cute at all. Hell no. I can't, what? No, I can stand is a trigger. Tom Selleck is hot. And I told you that he has a home in my city. He has had for a long time. And I think I've already shared with you guys that back many years ago, there were a few of us who decided that we should take up jogging and go jogging past his house, just in case we could run into him jogging, you know. Because I'll tell you, Tom Selleck is hot. He's what they call a man's man. You know what I'm saying? Mrs. J. Dub says, can we choose people involved with the case and YouTube creators? Yes. Yeah, Tom Selleck is the hottest of hot. Bruce Willis, I have not ever seen him in person, but I know people who have. And they said to me that he's a lot shorter than they realized. Tom Selleck is not short. There's nothing wrong with short, but it's just evidently Bruce Willis appears a lot taller in his movies. Do you guys remember Tom Jones? I saw him in person. He is short. Miss CD has a good idea, or nobody involved with the case. That might be good. You guys want to do that? To heck with the whole case. Let's just make a good calendar. That's a good idea. McKee is super hot. What? McKee is super hot, is a cheater, conjures up the dead. Okay, whoever that is probably shouldn't be included. You guys want to do that and just say, forget the Watts case? We can just make a good calendar. Star Mama, Clint Eastwood. There we go. Mexi. Okay, you guys are talking about Mexi. I have no idea who that is, but evidently he's hot. Oh, yeah, everybody's agreeing he's hot. Ray says Clint is squinty. Carla says, yes, Star Mama, a real man. Proverb says, Clint Eastwood is my man. Love him. That's what we should do. We should make a calendar and choose everybody by vote and come up with the 12 hottest men. It won't even be a calendar, really, because I don't know if any of us are techno geeky enough or techno savvy enough to figure out how to do that. But we could come up with a, you know, a poll or whatever for the 12 hottest men. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? Who is that? Is that like a fighter or something? Ooh, yes, Paula. Sam Elliott, yes. I was almost going to say Eric Estrada, but I don't really think he was that hot. I would rather the window well jumper than Eric Estrada. He was a football player turned wrestler turned actor. Oh, okay. Miss CD said Sam. Yes. The man from 365 Days. I have no idea who that is. Charles Bronson. Oh. This might be kind of tricky to narrow it down. Maybe we should do like the top 100 men in the world who are hot. The crazies of Watts Island. Okay, there's no denying it. The day has started. I'm feeling like I should go to bed. But I'm not going to because the day has just started. So I'm going to go take a walk. So everybody think of who your hottest dream guys are. And we'll go ahead and act like Bob's and list them out. Miss CD says, bedtime for me. Ray says, I'm off to bed. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to come in the house and I'm going to take a nap. Matthew McConaughey. Woohoo. Robin, yes. You know someone else who I think is hot, who probably really is not, but I really admire him? You guys are going to laugh. Ted Nugent. I think he's hot in a way. I do. I think he's hot. He's a guy who takes no shit, you know? And he's so intelligent, I think, is why I think he's hot. Proverb says, contrary to what you may hear, SR is not as hot as he thinks he is. Oh, the actor who played Johnny Cash. Who is that? I can picture him, but I don't know his name. Denzel Washington. Yes. I've actually said that to many people. That man is hot. Phoenix. That's who played Johnny Cash, right? Super Thirsty says, hell yes. Denzel Washington is a good one to remember, Ray. Robin's saying another one here, and I'm trying to think. How do you say his last name? It's Sydney. Is it Poitier? I can't say it. Poitier? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Help me. He was a very talented actor. Brett something or other. Miss CD is into sports. I don't know who Jimmy is. Okay, that's my second yawn. I do have to go walk. Paula, get your tennis shoes on. We're going for a walk, dear. I agree. Here's good advice for you, Paula, from Super Thirsty. Paula, please don't read or watch any of that crap. You have support here. Sting is hot too, yes. Time for a walk. Okay, tennis shoes. You don't have to go far, but you have to at least like circle the block or something. Move your body. Oh, I'm going to be tired today, you guys. But you know what? This was fun. I'm glad that we talked. Super thirsty is puking. Did you know that we weren't allowed to say that word when we were little? Proverbs says big old pile of puke. River's brother. Okay. The Phoenix one. Alrighty. Let's get moving. Perfect comment, Carla. I'll go ahead and put it up there. I'll read it. And then I will say, everybody have a great day. Carla says, have a great day, everyone. Till next time.